We are starting our next section in VU InDesign, and we're going to be working on laying out business documents in InDesign. Our first one, this first video, is going to be on stationery, which is your 8.5 by 11 sheet that people would print out and mail out for businesses. So this is what we're going to be doing, an example. So to start out, you go to InDesign, and you will also need to download any file associated with this in your VU under Google Classroom, because you'll need this logo file right here. So to start off, we're going to hit new document, and it's going to be an 8.5 by 11 because that's what our standard stationery size will be. Make sure you're in inches, so 8.5 by 11. Vertical orientation, we're going to do 1 page. We're going to set up some margins. Our top margin is going to be 0.5 inches. Our bottom margin will be 0.5 inches as well. Outside margin will be 0.5, and our inside margin is going to be 1.75. And then that's all you have to do and hit create. So there's our new document. We're going to set some horizontal rulers. So if your ruler is not up, hit Command R. So see how that goes away. And we're going to set, what is our horizontal guide? So horizontal is long way. You can kind of pull down a guide here, and then you can go over here and set it. Our first guide is going to be 0.5. See how that snaps to it. Our second horizontal guide will be 1.5. Our third horizontal guide will be 2.5. And then our fourth one will be 3.5, which I put it exactly on that. And then our last one will be 5.5. So 5.5. So there's our guide set up. We're going to click our rectangle tool. So we have 2 options here. You have your regular one, and then you have your rectangular frame tool. So we just want the regular rectangle tool, and we're going to drag and create a color right through here. Actually, we forgot one guide. We need our vertical guide as well. So our vertical guide is going to be, bring it out. Hang on, let's undo that. Do our vertical guide first. Okay, so bring our vertical guide, and it's going to be 0.125, which should line up there. There's our bleed. Okay. So now get your rectangle tool, and we're going to draw it in between those right there. And we're going to fill it with 5% tint of cyan. So right now we're at 100%, so we're going to hit 0 there and just put 5 in the cyan box. Hit OK. And we want no stroke. So you're going to go over here in your properties panel, double click the stroke, and hit no fill there. So then we just have our pure 5% cyan box right there. Now we're going to drag and create a rectangle frame tool. We're going to make a horizontal rectangle, and we're going to line it up right here on this line like that. And it should have like a little X in it, because this is what we're going to place our logo into. So we're going to hit File, and you should have this file in your Google Classroom, and it is creativelayouts2.ai, and you're going to hit Open, and it will directly go right into this box. Get your black pointer tool, and it looks like we need to scale it down some. You can see you can move it within there. Double click it, and now you get the full logo. We're going to hold Shift, and proportionately size it within there, and then you can move it down so it looks right. So the whole logo's in there, looks proportioned, so make sure you hold the shift button. The next thing we're going to do is use the type tool and drag a thin horizontal text frame across the bottom of the white area of the page. So grab your text tool and we're going to put the address down here. And then we're going to make sure we have a 12-point type and Madrid. So you can type in that font. Spell it right. So we're gonna make that, so I'm looking regular, so just grab the Pro regular, and then this is type in 1 2 3 4. Whoop. 3 4. Product. Oh my gosh, I can spell. Production Avenue, and then put a bullet point. So the shortcut for our bullet point for Mac is Option 8, and then do a space. Vincennes, Indiana. We're gonna do 3 spaces, 1 2 3, and then we're gonna put 4 7 5 9 1 2. Too many for a zip code. And then we're going to put a space and put another bullet, so Option 8, and then do a phone number 1812 period 888 period 8888. Okay, so that's the phone number. So we're going to click the next cursor before the first bullet, and we're going to put some spacing in here. So you could hold Shift M to add some spacing. That didn't do it. It's actually Command Shift M, and that adds some spacing evenly out. Command Shift M. There we go. Is that how they want us to do it? Yeah. And again, with this bullet, Command Shift M, just spacing that out so it fits better in there. So how it's all spaced out. So so we want to reduce the text frame to fit exactly around that text, because then we can help to center it in there. And then so we're just going to kind of center it in there. Get your alignment tools. Make sure it's centered. Okay. So now we're going to click the rectangle tool to open the rectangle options. And we're going to create a square pretty much at 1.25 by 0.125. Hit OK. So now you have this square. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And we're going to create these little boxes just for like some decoration. We're going to fill it with cyan with no stroke. Oops, what's this? Let's get rid of the stroke. And go over here to your fill box. And the first one is going to be 100% cyan with no stroke. So make sure you hit 0K. Hit OK. Drag it to copy it, so Option drag, and this one is going to be a fill of 70%. Hit OK. We're going to Option drag again and fill it for 40%. Option drag one more time, and we're going to fill it for 15%. So you have your different kind of variations of cyan there. And then we're going to line them up in the upper right corners of the 0.5, 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5 horizontal guides that we did in the beginning, and in the left margin. So we'll start with the 100%. We're going to just line them up right there. Zoom out a little bit, you can see how it looks. And then if you really want to make sure they're all lined up, you can select them all and get your alignment tools and hit the right align edges, which they should be since we put all that alignment out. So that's pretty much set up of what we looked at. We're going to go through the different modes just to show you something new, to show you what it looks like. So we're going to go through screen modes. So we're going to go through view, screen modes, and then we have normal. We can do a preview mode to see what it looks like. You can go to view, screen modes, and you can see what the bleed looks like. View, screen modes, and what the slug looks like. So it doesn't look too much different, but I needed to point out all those different types of modes that you could go through. Those guides go away and you can see what it's going to look like, especially if you get a lot of guides going on your document. That's a way to get rid of it so you can see what it's look like. One other thing you can go through is just view display performance. So you could different performance displays you could play with to see how they look. So again, if you get a large document, these are helpful to see what you're coming up with. So this should be your final thing. Please, we're going to save it as an InDesign file. So file save as. Make sure you save it as your last name, first initial, and stationery. And save as just an InDesign document. Hit save. And then upload back to your Google Classroom for a grade. Thanks, guys.